So in this video, I'm going to be removing the engine, sticking it on the engine stand, flicking it upside down, pulling off the big end caps and mains, having a look at the shells. I'll be popping the pistons out one at a time, see what the bores are like, possibly giving it a hone. DIY pretty much, so DIY engine strip and check. Most of it looks good. There's a lot to be said for doing it yourself. Saving money is the biggest one. You don't have to be a rocket scientist for these old tractors either. They're really easy to work on. Even if you've got a slight mechanical knowledge, you could probably get yourself around one of these old engines with the right gear. Torque wrenches, bits and bobs like that, piston ring compressors, all cheap stuff you can buy, but you can save yourself a lot of money. Because this tractor's never going to see hard work again, or I should imagine, the most work it's more likely to do once it's sold is probably put a boat in and out of the water on someone's batch. But so you haven't got to go really mental on it, I guess, to rebuild it. I've skimmed the head already. I'm still waiting for my tooling to turn up for that, but at least I can get this stripped out now. I've made up a little lift plate, so I just had some scraps of steel kicking around the workshop. I just made that up with a strap. I know not everybody's got a forklift, but I have, so I should be using my forklift to put a bit of tension on it, undo the bolts, slide it off forward, and then we can have a look and see what the condition of everything is. That's about the size of it today. That's what's going to happen. So I'll go and get my forklift out, and then I can start undoing nuts and bolts. So there's the forklift in place, and I've got a little bit of tension on my strop, not enough to lift the whole tractor up, but just enough to, so when I undo these bolts it's not just going to fall on the floor. I've also got it side loaded a little tiny bit, so it will kind of come off that way, sorry, back loaded a little bit, so it'll just pop out. Again, if you haven't got a forklift, which not everybody has, little engine crane you can hire just as well. I just noticed I've got a flat tyre on my forklift, so I'm going to have to pump that bugger up. Otherwise it's going to lift a bit squiffy, so I should quickly fire up the compressor and pump that up before it does any damage. Right, so I've now got some wind in the tyre. Now I've done that, I'll load this up again, then I can whiz these bolts out, and then we can pull the bugger off. Right, I'll get some tools. Short than that. Yes, I do. What I have got to make life easier as well is a little air ratchet, which I'll probably use while I've got wind in my compressor. Handy gadget to have this one. Noisy, but handy. That's the way to do it. So now that should wiggle off. So it should. It's got a gasket on there. I might have to give it some persuasion with something to get down there. I'll give it a bit of persuasion. So I think I've got it on the run now. I'll just give it a wiggle and hopefully it should come free like that. Look at that. Someone's had this apart and painted the whole thing. So this has all been painted in red oxide primer. Even the clutch is done. So yeah, someone's been in there before. But I don't know how far they went, so we'll pull it out anyway and give it a good coat look at. I was just going to wash my hands, move the forklift and get it on the engine stand. So next job, pull the pressure plate off. And you may notice I always use power tools because it's easier and quick. People probably think it's lazy, but if you had your own workshop and you were doing this for a living, I guarantee you'd be using power tools all the time. Because time is money, isn't it? There we go. And actually that clutch plate has got a huge amount of meat on it. It's like, it looks relatively new, although just noticed just here it's got a little bit missing, so something's happened to this. So rather than chancing it, I'll probably just whack a new clutch plate in it. But what you can do, if it's like this is all impregnated with oil and stuff, what I've done before is put it on the barbecue, because I'm not allowed to do it indoors, I'll get told off. We chuck in a barbecue in an old frying pan, fill it with water and washing powder, then boil it up and it comes up like new. And then just do it a few times until it's like back to the normal colour. But yeah, that's what I've done before, which seems to work really, really well. The rest of it looks pretty good as well, so no scores or anything. So part of that will go again, and the clutch plate, I don't know, I'll have a closer look at it. But next thing we're going to get off this big ass thing. What's that bearing right there? That bearing is C solid, so we need a new spigot bearing as well, because that's knackered. I'll just go and get a chisel and we'll just bend over these tabs, and I think they're a 9/16, so I'll go and grab a socket for that as well. Alright, lock tabs are out of the way now, and just wrap that down. These look pretty new as well, so those tabs look like someone's been in here. So I'm just wondering if they've been in and done the oil seal and whatever, but if they had done, I would have expected them to have cleaned it in there a bit more than that. But pretty stuck on there. I might get a soft hammer and give it a few whacks. And there it was. Oh. So now that's all out of the way, I can chuck it on the engine stand. I have to make up some spaces so I don't get to all the bolts in here, because the last one I did, I couldn't get in here very well. It was a bit awkward, so I'll make myself up some spaces and whatever. All looks a bit grotty in here. I guess once I've blasted everything off outside, I'll get a better idea what it's like. Right, let's get my engine stand. So I've just cut some 10mm stud just to attach this to the stand. And I've got some little bits of box section I've cut just to use the spaces. I might have to adjust it around a little bit to get the bottom one to reach, but we'll just get these on so it's attached, and I can loosen these bolts and adjust it. Which way is that going to go to touch? I think ideally this wants to go down. I might let a bit of pressure off of that and that can go down then. And will that fit through there? No, it won't, but that will fit through there like that. So we'll stick it in the east like that. Now, just drop this forklift there just a smidgen. Right, so I've got it on the stand now, and all these bolts are tight, I think, apart from that one. That's got to do. Right, next thing is to start taking off bits and bobs, so oil filter housing can come off, and it's got all crap around it, that one. There's a bit of a clean up. Little nest in there. Straight in the box there. Might as well take off the oil filler as well. So I've got all new gaskets for this somewhere. I'll leave that. I might flick it up the other way and hook the sump off. So we're probably going to get a bit of oil come out of this, and possibly the follows might fall out. I don't know if I can get them out now. I might try and get those follows out. Rag, mama, rag. Let's see. See if we can get that out. I think they get so far, then they get stuck, but so be it. Ideally, I want to go back in the same hole, but I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. So we'll just flick this over and let some oil drip out. I'll find another catch tray, a little bit bigger. You can never have too many oil trays, eh? I'll stick that there, and then when I flick it over, it's going to catch a bit of it. It won't get it all, but some is better than none, I suppose. Hopefully this should just Just let it drain a little bit into there. Always drain. So I should flick that over all the way in a minute once it's drained. Before I take the sump off, I'm going to take this sieve out here. So this is a little sieve that goes just before the oil pickup. Come out the nuts. Those are, for some reason, not half inch. Maybe someone's got 13 millimetres, so I'm going to try 13. Yes. Screwdriver. Be interested to see how far whoever was in here before got, or what they did, if anything, apart from paint. I hope they did a bit more than painting. So a lot of people buy these tractors and they don't realise how involved you can get with it, but I say it's not rocket science, they're pretty basic. Go. I'm going to put them in there, don't I? Let's get rid of those. There we go, that's out. Looks pretty clean, so maybe someone has been here and cleaned. Maybe. Now then. Was this something? Some of these might need a bit more of a bit of levering off with a ratchet rather than this. But the nice oily ones are coming off lovely. Oh, you bastard. I think some of these are going to need a bit of a bath in a bit of penetrating oil, because I don't really want to snap them off. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to give them a bit of a soak, so I shall turn this up the other way a bit, get rid of the bolts that I can get rid of, and yeah, I'll give it a bath, so to speak. So I'm just going to stick it back up the right way again. And soak those bad boys. I might soak the other side as well, never know. And I'll come back. I've soaked them for a little while, but probably the best thing is a bit of a nuke with a hot torch just to loosen them. This will also draw the penetrating oil into the thread a bit more. I've already got one out. And all this is doing is expanding the metal, like the aluminium and the cast iron, but the bolt is staying a bit colder, so should free it a little bit, hopefully. So none of this is rocket science, it's just real basic stuff. There we go, look at that. One more to go. I also took out the two studs from the sieve as well because they were sort of in the way. I wonder if that heat's got that there. No. Right. Last but not least. Hopefully that's enough. Yep. And that is ready to come off. I'll get those bolts out in a minute, but that's off. There we go. I'm going to go and stick this straight, I'll stick it in my tray down here. Let it drain a little bit before I put it in my degreasing tank. Old gaskets are very brittle. So, cam looks good. But we won't really know until we strip it right the way down. So for now, I think I'm going to try and catch the cam followers one at a time. So I'll see if I can get those out because I want to keep them in order because they'd have worn to the cam. And I'm going to adjust the tappets anyway, but it's always better to put things back where they come from. So the last engine I took apart, I did question whether someone had been at it, and on this flange on the crank that the flywheel attaches to, someone has ground a big lump of it off, and I did ask if anyone knew whether that was standard or not, but this one hasn't got it, so I'm assuming that someone had done that to change the seal. Now, a gentleman did comment on one of my posts that you can change this without dropping the engine, so you just take the sump off and apparently you can change that seal. God knows how, there must be a real pain in the arse. But I suppose it could be done if you get spanners in there, but I'd rather do it this way, I think. At least I know it's done properly, then I can get to it. But this looks like it has got a rubber seal. I'll just check it with a screwdriver. The original was a felt. Yeah, that's a rubber one. So someone's definitely been in here before and played, but we'll change it out anyway. There's no point getting this far and not bothering. So the next thing I really want to do is get this outside, but it's peeing down with rain at the minute, or was, it keeps on and off. You get it outside and give it a bloody good water blast off, degrease, because it's a bit nasty. So I might do that in a while, just knock it outside if it stops raining, roll it out and give it a good coat of degreaser and water blast it, then dry it straight away, because I don't want it to get all rusty, whatever, you know. But so far it's looking pretty good. I'm quite pleased. I reckon it's going to be another one that's easily saved, which would be lovely. Cheap anyway, much cheaper. So I've just left this outside and give it a good degrease and give it a major blast with the water blaster. Cleaned out all the water jackets, they were a bit scummy. But now it's clean, it's actually looking like a really good engine. Obviously I haven't taken any of the bearing caps off, you have to have a look. I say it's already got a rubber seal in the main, this end, but I'll probably put a new one in it anyway, just to be on the safe side. I'll probably take just one piston out and have a look, because I can still see the crosshatch marks in the bores, so that would mean that they should be good. But if I take one out and the piston rings all look good, then chances are the rest are going to be fine. I'll just take a couple of bearing caps off just to check those, see if we've got to change any, put any new shells in and stuff. But as it stands at the minute, it's looking like this might be a good little engine, obviously apart from the valves, which was the issue. So I'm going to wrap it up for now, come back tomorrow and start stripping some bits off. I've given it a good blow off with the airline, try and get most of the water off of it, and I'm just going to give it a little coat of WD-40 just to dissipate any more water. But that'll do, won't it?